am deeply honored by the membership of the Great Mass Communication Department for giving me the singular honor to contest for the elections scheduled for this August meeting. I thank you all for the confidence and trust that you have reposed in me to be a contender and to provide strong, visionary, disciplined, and credible leadership to change and transform our beloved department for the betterment of all. As current qualifying year student, I have gathered the appropriate experience to represent you and your academic life here at our department. Considering that all of us are in the same degree course, we have successfully worked together on a departmental level to raise issues regarding academic and administrative concerns. With a track record as a student representative and member of the executive, I'm going to work to achieve the following. My first intention is to strengthen the lapses our association is having, especially in areas of student involvement when it comes to decision-making about affairs concerning them. Channeling these matters that affect student to departmental heads and making sure appropriate measures are met. I want to see AMCU as a peaceful environment, giving privilege to students by allowing them exercise their franchise and above all, show the power and capability of women if only they are given the platform to do so. Secondly, I want to reorganize, reform, and structure AMCU with a special reference to our departmental activities, which will suit the comfort of all students in the university because we will be generating income for the department. Ensuring all issues are properly listened to by communicating regularly with students I represent through the help of my executive. To also create room for in-house debates that will help boost the confidence and public speaking strength as a preparation for the outside world. Running an executive with regard and regular meetings for feedback and comments twice a semester and ensuring rapid resolutions on genuine cases like grades and other issues. I am also going to work with broad range of academic, promoting quality teaching by supporting colleagues, students in the same department. Most importantly, to enhance transparency and communication in the entire AMCU executive when it comes to funds of the association, because these monies are not meant for personal use, but for the benefit of all that are in AMCU. To also create a framework for reps to gather and deliver information from and to students they are representing. I want students to be rest assured that for good governance, better representation, and robust advocacy, vote Trifina. Colleague students, I will also institute a policy of representation and inclusion in our union to support those who feel isolated to be part of the developmental process no matter the level they are in. With the support of all, I will create a defined, safe, and enabling space for all members in our darling department by proactively defend and ensure student representation is highly felt. But all this cannot be done when each and every one of us are ready and we make sure we are ready to take the mantle of leadership and involve actively in AMCU programs. I am not a god, but a student as you all. And so, I am wholeheartedly ready to make AMCU needful activities actualized. Therefore, there is an adage which says, when you want to know the ability and attitude of a man, give him or her power. But with this in mind, communicators, be rest assured that I am here to serve you and nothing else. of such will be actualized without the support of all of you. I still remain Trifina Elizabeth Coker. Lastly, fellow colleagues, your franchise starts now, and make good use of it by voting Trifina Elizabeth Coker. God bless mass communication and the University of Unimak. I bid you peace.
Good afternoon, colleagues, student journalists. I am Daniel FCC, as I have been introduced. On this day, I stand before you to discuss reality issues, not things that are ideal or things that can be practicalized. On this day, I stand before you to present to you strategic plans that can help improve the department. Make no mistake, the foundation has already been set. Let me reiterate again, the foundation has already been set. Why do I say the foundation has already been set? Now, I would like to do a retrospect of where the association was 2 years back to now, where the association is presently. In 2017, I got admission into the University of Makini, October, and presumably, which I authoritatively will say that we as students, when we came in as new students, freshers, I would say, we didn't have a clue, or we didn't have a clue about the association. Honestly, we never knew there was an association called AMCU. What happened was, during the first semester period, we never held a meeting, nor were we called by our seniors to discuss there was an association. Why? Because in 2015, when the association was formed, it was run by just one executive, and after that executive, there was not a succeeding executive to help carry on from the work that was done in 2015 when it was formed. Now what happened? Some resilient and energetic students, by then they were in year 2, saw the need and said, no, we can't just sit and watch an association that had a lot of prominent journalists that it has produced die out just like that. So what they did was, they started moving class to class, cajoling us, especially we the junior students, to see the need to revive the association. I can vividly remember we bashed them, or rather we ignored them. They called for several meetings, but we never responded by then because we didn't saw the need for the association. So they thought of an idea to bring everybody on board, and they came up with a field trip. And the idea really materialized because the field trip at the end of the day got each and every mass communication student, even if not all, but I think 90% of the students, because it got 90% of the students involved in it. Now, why am I bringing this synopsis into my manifesto? It's because, like I said, the foundation has been set. And it's time to build. Make no mistake about it, it's time to build. Let's not allow the association to go back to the games. Colleague, student journalist, I would like to outline my strategic plan, if voted in, to continue the mantle of leadership that has been set by the outgoing executive. Now, I would like to work in line with the constitution of association. Now, one of the key mandates of the association is to see how best they inculcate educational programs to fellow students. Now, how are we going to go about with educational programs for fellow students? Now we see within our departments, we have differences. We have students who, if you tell them to sit an exams the next day, they will score 4 points. If you tell some students to sit exams tomorrow, definitely they will score 1 point. There are differences when it comes to potential in exams. If voted in national leader, how am I going to solve some of these differences and ensure that each and every student gets at least 3.7, which I believe is the minimum grade point for a second class division student. Now, I already started it prior to becoming the vice president. I used to cajole people. I used to talk to people. I used to motivate people. Say, no, you can do better than this. You know, you can do more. No, you can score 4. If Mr. X can score 4, you too can score 4. Now, how are we going to go about this educational strategy? We will have what you refer to as cooperative learning system. Gone are the days when you have to sit all by yourself and do everything by yourself. I never knew about the time.
Because
Good afternoon, you all. Of course, I want to take this opportunity to apologize on behalf of my brother Danny. Of course, he was having no knowledge about the time, but it was so embarrassing that he couldn't finish his manifesto. I am Jonathan Anointing Pangu, a qualifying year student of the Department of Mass Communication. Of course, I'm also volunteering as a volunteer at the Africa Young Voices Media Empire. And I believe in liberating the mindset of youth and always stand to speak when things went wrong or when things go wrong. From today, we fight against fear. We fight against wrongs. We mobilize political and financial support to our darling department. We want to make laws and policies just to stand for what is right. I have respect for the Constitution. Together we can create AMCU and make it bigger, stronger and safer. Before going to what my intentions are, I want to first of all I want to thank the leadership of Bismarck. He did well in his ability, and I also want to thank the other executive members that complimented his efforts for working for the association. I am personally giving Bismarck the accolades because the association is benefiting from a widescreen plasma. From the proceeds we got from the dinner. Thank you once more for a constructive review of the Constitution that goes with the interest of every student. Special thanks to the Maria and also our active Secretary General John Mobo. I believe in one way or the other you guys did well. You did well to our expectations, but there were more we were expecting and there are more we are expecting to see. Now to what I will do. Now I promise to continue from where they stopped. Of course, we have seen the development that they brought. As a leader, when I come, I will not, throw away what they've already done, but I will try as best as possible to continue their good work. So again, is community engagement. As a leader, when I be the president, I will make sure we engage in community engagement. We've seen now most of our communities are suffering. There are people who are out there who are suffering. We cannot say we have the money as mass communicators to go directly and give them. But if I be the president, I will facilitate student activities to go to communities, talk to them, know their needs, design questionnaires, and bring them to a platform that other people or Soriat organizations, I quote in Creole, will see and help them. You're disturbing me, sir. Calls are coming in my phone for me, sir. Yes, sir.
I don't think so.
4 is I will build confidence in the media exposure of colleagues. I guess our primary motive here is for every communicator to go out and explore what he or she has already learned, especially in the area of development communication, public relations, and also journalism, which is most of us our main focus. And I promise to drive us to that particular drive. In a sense, I will make sure I facilitate volunteering programs for every student here. Most of us here are finding it difficult to meet our daily needs. I will not say I am going to give you the job, but interested people will come and say, I want to apply for this particular job in so organization. With that, I believe that I will facilitate that very well if you vote me in as the president. Another point is skill training. we can testify that no mass communicator has graduated from this department with the skills of having visual editing skill and also photography and also how to operate camera very well. If I be the president, I will facilitate together with the executive that I'm working with to have at least 4 desktop computers at the Masscom lab to be helping students to learn visual editing. And I've also talked to Jerry, the likes of Joy, and others who have the prerequisite skills to train students, for all of us to be engaging in weekly activities to train camera and also visual editing. Another point I will bring is that I will make sure I create a very good relationship between the HOD and the student. Most people are complaining, I quote, Mr. Machi Gebo, Mr. Machi this, that. But we cannot run away from realities. The reality is, we cannot change Mr. Matthew. But I will engage with him one-on-one, discuss his issues for us to understand ourselves rather. Then another point I will bring in, this is very important. 200,000 year 1, 300,000 year 2. Is large amount of money. I will make sure I talk to the HOD and to meet the administration to be making sure that our departmental fees reflect on us. Most activities that we want to conduct, unless we go and tax, and or otherwise organize fundraising programs. So with that goal, I believe I am competent enough. Now, the future of AMCU lies in our hands. If we take AMCU to what we want to take it, I believe that leadership is bestowed upon me. If you give me that leadership opportunity, I will make sure I be a leader for all, not a boss. Of course, most of you can testify that I'm the person that comes to the grassroots of everyone. That means I'm a listening leader. I'll be able to consult you and bring out issues before making decisions. So I believe, I don't want to talk much because of time, but let the action speak. Vote wisely, because the future of AMCU lies in your hands. Don't vote because of sentiment. Don't vote because we are classmates. Don't vote because you are my friend. But vote for competency. And I believe Jonathan Anointing Pangu is the most competent among all the other students. I thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. John Maxwell once said, to add value to others, you first of all need to value them. So I will start by bringing you value by greeting you in the name of God. Good afternoon to all of you. I am Umutonka, a second-year student of the Great Mass Communication Department, and I'm here to share with you my manifesto titled, Everyone Counts, All of You Counts, for the development of the Association of Mass Communication. Please spare me a few of your valuable time to expatiate on the key issues enshrined in this document. One is unity and teamwork. As you all are aware that one of the greatest challenges we are facing in our dynamic AMCU is the maintenance of unity between and amongst our membership. Every elected executive over the past decade or so has struggled a lot of challenge for having the cooperation and support of members in our department. And I want to assure you all here that if I won the vice presidency, I will engage members, talk with them, and ask them their challenges, the problems they are facing, for them to see Association of Mass Communication as their own association that will take the department to another level. And let me hasten to assure you all here that when I shall have assumed the mantle of vice presidency, I will serve as outstanding advisor to the president so that we will project and promote the welfare, well-being, inclusion, and capacity building for all. When I was outside before coming here, some people were suggesting that we want a school bus for our department. How can we have that school bus without your cooperation? You have the idea. If you do not project that idea, how can the executive put it into paper and reach the appropriate people? So that is why I'm going to talk to people, for all of us to project the problems, and we promote the association. Please give me a round of applause for such wonderful things. And I believe if you have a school bus in your department, it's going to be something like that. But I'm not going to promise you that we are going to have it. I'm not going to promise you that my administration will give it to you. issue. I said with teamwork, you can bring ideas. Ideas of such can help move forward the department. Additionally, I will use the people-centered approach as a priority to ensure that we bring every member on board to collectively find a home-ground solution to the challenges we face in our department. Jerry and others Bismarck, the president who all members here are saying is the president for life. They have tried years, is that not so? But still people are grumbling that we have challenges. So we want to have on-ground solutions to these challenges. We don't want to have our meeting and in the meeting other people will be talking negative about the executive and some will be having their own ideas. We want to see one AMCU and one association. So, if I happen to be the vice president, I will work on that and we will set a council of elders which will comprise the lecturers and past presidents and vice presidents of the AMCO association, which will be given advice to the executive when and how necessary. We shall consult, engage, partner and work with as a team, because as members in the association, you cannot work alone. We are here standing alone for positions, but if I happen to be the winner, I am not going to work alone. Is that also? Now we said we are only going to vote in for 3 positions. Initially, that was not the way it happens. Because they want us to work in a team and they want dedicated executive members, they want them to function well. That is why they said we're voting for the 3 positions, but after that, we are going to bring in other people for us to work as a team. And I believe that that teamwork will be able to push the association forward. AMCO as a platform for change. I want AMCO to be a platform for change. For the betterment of our association, we need to change, because they said people who never change their opinions never cater for development. Is that not so? So you need to change your opinion. Don't always have it in mind that the Association of Mass Communicators, for the fact that we have new executive, they will just do what they want to do. It is your responsibility. It is your responsibility to talk to your executive member, your leaders, that we need this thing, we want you to do it for us. And by guiding them, they will be able to do the right thing. If we fail, if I fail as a vice president, to be, and all of you have failed. Is that not so? The past executive, let me say, they shouldn't have just sit and think of bringing us a plasma TV and a projector. Who will question them? You will just say they are corrupt, they are not accountable. But now we have it there. Am I the only one going to watch it? No. Am I the only one going to use the projector? It is for the benefit of all of us. So we need to guide them, we need to work with the executive members, and we need to change our mindsets that the Association of Mass Communicators Executive are people who are fraud or people who are not accountable. We shall introduce AMCO school clubs in schools to serve as a breeding ground and encouragement for the next generation of mass communicators. As you all know that, I am a simple but a profound speaker. When we are here in year 1, the HOD was taking us around schools to encourage children in various schools, pupils, for them to choose the Association of Mass Communication as the best department for them to study mass communication. But some of them, they will listen to us, but if we do not go there regularly, by the time they start to their work, maybe they will not think of coming again as the mass comm department. Is that not so? But if we introduce school clubs in those various schools, we will be having the executive members in the schools who are pupils, who will be talking to their colleagues, convince them to come and join us as communicators. Mentorship training. Our administration will continue to provide training and capacity building opportunities and initiate programs that will help our young colleagues with a wide range of issues to become all-round professionals, especially in the area of public speaking, debates, and exam. Ladies and gentlemen, I know that most of us here are coming to the mass comm department. It's not that we want to be broadcasters, is that not so? Some of us want to specialize in the public relations department, or let me say sector. So even if you are a public relations individual, you also have the right to be an orator. So without much ado, for charismatic, assertive, committed, dedicated, and result-oriented leadership.
No leader sets out to be a leader. People set out to live their lives, expressing themselves fully. When that expression is of value, they become leaders. So the point is not to become a leader. The point is to become yourself completely, your skills, gifts and energies in order to make your vision manifest, you must withhold nothing. You must in sum become the person you started out to be and enjoy the process of becoming. Word from Warren Bennis. Lecturers, ministers, colleague students, all protocols observed, I greet you all in the name of God Almighty. My name is Tomo Sherry, a second-year student at the Mass Communication Department, Unimak. I am running for the position of Vice President and I need your support. My experience. I have an experience in leadership. I was born to be a leader, having served as a leader since my school days at the Grace Bow School, becoming a school prefect, and ran in various positions in the student forum networks. I have been leading the minds of sober-minded people to success. One of my leadership skills is that I always respect the views of the people that I'm serving and work enormously to bring the views of the people to pass. What I have done for the department. When it comes to the matter of mass communication, I have been one of the most cooperative students at the department. Ranging from the departmental activities, I took part in all activities held by the department. I took part in all the activities held by the department, ranging from the field trip, which I was part of the photography team, the show at Canteen, which I took the rest of my daily time to help the executive in putting things together because most of the executive members were not around to help, and other executive members can attest to that. I attended the dinner as a full-paid student and to dine with colleague communicators. Since I became a member of AMCU, I have never missed out on any scheduled meeting, and my input in the various meetings were always in line of the common good. I have been doing personal outreach to convince people to come and study mass communication at the University of Makeni, which today I can proudly say among the Yawas, I have more than 10 students that I personally convinced to come to our beloved communication, both first and second year. Will lead to the change and that everyone is anticipating for, with a lot of experience, strategies to look into matters or situations. I look into the issues of the mass communication department and I got the solutions to all those issues. Below are my plans towards the department and voted for as the Vice President. 1. Build the level of socialization. I will work hard with the executive to lift up the level of socialization at the mass communication department by making outstanding shows to gain fund and also making of parties to build a relationship among mass communicators and making of carnivals to boost the flag of the social life of our department, and also the making of social academic field trip that will open the platform for communicators to know each other. 2. Since the introduction of the distance course at the mass communication department has been going on, I will make sure that I put emphasis for the distance course at the mass communication to be held. 3. Monthly contributions for all students. Monthly contributions for all students. In order for our department to maintain its stance, it will involve money. In that light, I will introduce a monthly contribution among students, which students are going to give a little amount, and the registration of all students will stand effective when after I be voted for as the Vice President. 4. Anticipate for the honors degree to reflect on the current year 3 and year 4 students. Many year 3 and final year students have worked hard since they were admitted at the mass communication department and they have scored great points above honors level. Therefore, there is a need for them to have an honors degree after checking on board. 5. Anticipate for more lecturers and emphasis on practical. To anticipate on behalf of the student for more lecturers and effective lectures at the department will be the key aspect alongside the executive we work on. We will bring up the case and sit with our head of department to find a way, and also practical for students will be considered so that students will know the stuff of mass communication. Thorough outreach. I will work with my executive to conduct thorough outreach at the various schools within Makeni and beyond Makeni to gain people, the hearts of people, to study mass communication at the Department of Mass Communication at Unimak. 7. Students unionism.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Ibrahim from the Mass Communication Department, Year 2. And as you've rightly heard, I am going in for the Secretary General of the Association of Mass Communicators, AMCO. I think it's a profound opportunity given to me this day to basically share with you my ideas, my thoughts with regards to what we think the future of AMCO should be. Ladies and gentlemen, I know by now all of us must have known that I'm the only person running for this position. Somebody told me outside that I shouldn't give a manifesto, but I told him, no, I think I should. Because basically, as a man who believes in accountability and transparency, I want you to also question me by my promises and my words at the end of the 1 year of our service. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here this afternoon to answer 4 basic questions. The first one is, what have I done for AMCO? Why did I even go in for this position? What are the problems of the department? And finally, what will I do to solve those problems? Ladies and gentlemen, it is not going to be a marathon speech. I will start with why, in fact, even I go in for this position. Ladies and gentlemen, Harry S. Truman once said, men make history and not the other way around. In periods where there is no leadership, society stands still. Progress occurs when courageous, skillful leaders seize the opportunity to change things for the better. And of course, our own very popular, the late Martin Luther King says that the world go back not because of the evil of bad people, but because of the silence of good people. I have decided to leave a wing, that is the critics wing, to join the action wing. Ladies and gentlemen, my slogan is action. We know the problems, we know the challenges, but we have been on the side of the critics. However, I think it's time to join the action wing. AMCO, as an organization, have had few problems. And because of this, not just today, I have been participating in activities of the department. Ladies and gentlemen, I am an active member of this department. One of the things I can proudly say is I was a member of the most successful executive AMCO ever had. The most successful leadership AMCO ever had. The only leadership that was able to provide a TV set and also projector for the department, and not just that, organize successful programs to keep the association alive. I was part of that, and I take pride in that, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, not just that, I think I have humbly offered myself to represent the department in various competitions. And I think with intent, I believe I mean good for this association. AMCO have a lot of things we need to put in place. I won't say all, but I want to say one of the biggest things we need internally is cohesion. We have to make AMCO as an organization or mass communication as a department where no student feel important than the other. Whether you are in year 1, year 2 or year 3, we should see ourselves as one. This has been a problem. And also we have had problem. We have also had the issue of us competing with other departments. Other departments have set the standards high, and I think this is time for us to beat the standards and go higher. When they say good departments in the university, many people will say law, many people will say public health, but I believe mass communication and the communication as a profession is the best profession we can ever have. So thereby, we should basically make this department the best department. And we also need to popularize and familiarize our departments, not just within Unimak, but outside Unimak. How can we make sure when we say mass communications at the University of McKinney, everybody will see credibility, everybody will see popularity in this department?
Thank you.
Good afternoon, welcome to Global Multimedia. I usually say there is no friends in the field of politics. Well, today the Association of Mass Communicators, AMCO, we have presidential, vice presidential aspirants as well as secretary general who are vying for the positions of these respective positions that I've just called, you know, to move the association to another level. So they have read their manifestos, and immediately after that we have the aspirants that are vying for some of these positions to get their views and interview them what they think, what would benefit actually from their aspirations as president. So join us as we go through the interview with some of them. Good afternoon and welcome to Global Multimedia.
Good afternoon and good afternoon, viewers.
So as you're one of the presidential aspirants, first of all, viewers might want to know what moved you to vie for this position.
First of all, it's the ability to serve. As a committed student to my association or department, I have seen the issues and I want to attack them. And that leadership ambition cannot come to pass if I don't go through political process. So with that political process, I will be able to, you know, serve well and attack the issues and solve them. So there are a lot of issues that prompted me to go for the presidency. And I believe, if not 100%, most of them are going to be solved in my leadership.
Okay, so what is your expectation? How high is your expectations towards the elections? How high is that expectation?
My expectation is winning. I am going to win because I believe among all other contestants, I am the most competent academically, in terms of exhibition, in terms of outspokenness. I am very much confident that I am the most competent among all of them because one, I have the leadership skills, I have the leadership requisite, I have what it takes. Then again, I know the issues of AMCO and I know I will win. So the support is coming and I know my support is in the minds of everybody.
Okay, thank you very much. You know, politics is a game of win or lose. So let's say, presumably or assumably you are not able to win the position of being the president. How will you, you know, help the association to move further with or without being the president?
Cohesion, support those that won. I did it last year. Last year I lost to a position I contested for the Secretary General, but that did not limit me, you know, to help the association or to give them hands. But this time around, I believe I am in the minds and in the hearts of many. I am going to win the elections.
Okay, so finally, what will be your message to mass communicators students out there? Wow,
you've heard the manifestos, and most of you know how competent and how good I am to take you to that leadership. I am a leader and not a boss. I will not be a yes sir boss. I am that particular person that will come to the grassroots level, ask for your needs and respond to them immediately. I will anticipate, I will facilitate and make things happen. So vote wisely and vote Jonathan Anointing Pangu, President AMCU. Bravo, winning for AMCU and best for all.
Thank you. Hello everyone, welcome to Global Multimedia. I'm Gloria Mara, and today we just attended our manifesto reading, Mass Comm department. Here is one of the aspirants. He can tell us his name and the position he's vying for.
Thank you very much, Gloria. Thank you, Global Multimedia viewers. My name is Ibrahim Mawia Jallo, and of course, I'm going in for the Secretary General position in the AMCU elections.
Okay, going in for this position, I clearly know that you don't have any opposition. So we all know, well, we know you're going to win. So what will you say to us?
Well, basically, I think I feel honored first to be in the race. Basically, I came into the race because I love the department. I love working for the department. I have been doing it before now. I have served the department in different capacities. It's always my pleasure, to serve the department. So basically, I came into this election because I want to serve. I know I don't have, a contender, who's contending with me. However, I don't take the department for granted for that reason. I believe, this just motivates me to make sure if I'm elected, I'm fortunate to be in the office, I want to work more. I want to make sure we give the very best to the department. I've just read my manifesto, and few among the things, so just summarize for viewers, I think our department basically needs cohesion. Like for example, when we have new students who come in year one, most times they just feel like strangers in the department, and that's not good. We need to create platforms wherein we can interact with our students, make sure they feel at home in the university. The university is one of the hardest places to cope, and when we have new students in, we have to make them feel lively. We have to make them feel the academics. We have to help them with the academics so that they can get into the university environment well. Basically, that is one of the things I would want to facilitate alongside my other bosses, because imagine, you have to know I'm going to have the president and the vice president will be my bosses, and also our department needs to compete with other departments. We know the many things other departments are doing. I want us to do more, very much more than what other departments are doing. So the things are many, however, for this interview, but I want to say that I want to serve the department.
Thank you very much, and I wish you good luck.
Thank you so much.
As the saying goes, what men can do, women can do more better. I feel so happy for our female presidential aspirants, vying for the position of being a vice president at the Association of Mass Communicators. It is on this slide that I welcome you to Madam Omotoronka. Please introduce yourself to viewers.
Well, I am Omotoronka, a second-year student of the Mass Communication Department, and I am vying for the position of vice president.
Okay, I want to know what gave you the inspiration, what motivated you to go in for this position?
Well, actually, I was part of the executive that was going executive as organizing secretary too, and I stood up for that position because I think I want to organize issues. Let me say, I want to organize things that will bring income in the association. So when I stood as the organizing secretary too, I was voted in, and I was there following up programs. We organize programs, and I stand tall to bring in programs that will bring money. For example, we organized a chilling after exams chilling at the canteen here, and people attended. We were able to have a sum of 1 million and above, and after that we organized educative programs by training our colleagues how to answer questions and also debates and other things. The last one which generated fund for us was the dinner. I said, oh, we need to organize the dinner. They said no, we've organized an entertainment program, and most of our colleagues do not support us. We do not see the collaboration, so we don't need to go on with this one, and maybe some of them will not even support our idea. I said no, but the fact that I have been organizing such, let me say, programs in my institution and also other places, I said if we go on with this one, we'll generate fund that will bring development in the association. We bring up the idea and we introduce it to people. They were not in support of us, they said they are in support of field trip. I said for the fact that I knew what I am saying, and if we go on with this program, we will have fund that will bring us development in the association. So because of the dinner, we invited dignitaries, including the Minister of Information and Communication.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
And I think seeing the Minister of Information information and communication, facially, and interacting with other stakeholders in the media field. It was a great one, and it was also a learning process which generated funds for us. Now we can proud as communicators who can be proud of a TV and a projector in our lab, and I believe that is a great achievement. So that inspired me to say, no, we've started this thing, we've done something better for the department, and I don't want it to stop there. If we can have a TV and a projector now, what can stop us not to have laptop computers?
Nothing. So more importantly, people might want to know, someone out there might want to know, what makes Umu Toronka more competent for the position to that of her opponents?
What makes Umu Toronka to be more competent for the position? One, Umu is outspoken, Umu is committed, Umu is the go-getter, Umu means business, Umu can go in for things she wants. If Umu says we are going to do this one, with our hard work, our commitment and our patience, she can have it. So with that, I think if people vote me in as the vice president, I am going to achieve some of their dreams, because I cannot say I will achieve all of their dreams, because can you imagine for someone to say we want a school bus for the mass com department, can I achieve that one with twinkle of an eye? No.
So how are you seeing the momentum? How are you seeing, the politics?
I'm just enjoying the fun. I'm enjoying the fun. I can talk to you, princess, I need your support. You said, okay, I'll support you. And another person will come. You said, okay, I'll support you, but we are waiting for the ballot box. The ballot box is going to speak who is going to be the winner. So I'm just enjoying the fun, and I am impressed, and I like the way the thing
Finally, before I leave you, what would be your last message to viewers out there, to communicators out there? Tell them what they need to know before they cast their vote.
Okay, communicators, I'm talking to you now directly. If you're watching, I want you to vote in the right person, the person who can represent you as communicators. If we're talking of communication departments, you cannot have a representative who can stand in front of people and cannot communicate to them well. Voting the person you've already known let me say how the person is functioning, how the person is working, how hardworking the person is, and vote in the person whom you think can move the association forward. So for the mass communication department's vice presidency, vote in Umu Toronka, the go-getter, the woman who means business, for the position.
All right, thank you.
Hello, welcome to Global Multimedia. I'm Gloria Mara, and today we just had the reading of the Mass Communication Department Manifesto by the various aspirants. So here is one of them. Let him introduce himself.
I'm Daniel FCC, a qualified year student from the Mass Communication Department, Unimak.
Position, please.
I'm in for the position of president for the Association of Mass Communicators, Unimak.
Okay, Mr. Daniel, we all know you are part of the Association of Mass Communication last year. Please, and you are the vice president. So what prompted you to go for the president position?
Well, actually, what prompted me is the fact that we need to maintain what we have and see how best we can build on what we already have started. We've set the foundation, we set the pace. Now we can boast of a reviewed constitution which was never there. Now we can boast of an account for the association which was never there. We never met one. We had to put in our strides, we had to put in our own money to run the association, which now through programs, fundraising programs that we organize now, we can boast we have a starter, and we need not let that starter go back to zero. So we need people that we are part of that starter to continue from where we've started and continue adding to what we've started and what we already have as a foundation. So that's what prompted me to vetting again for the position of president.
Okay, so what did you leave out when you were vice president that you want to bring back?
Now, one of the things I left out was the fact that we had limited platforms, especially for mass communication students, and upon becoming the acting president, one of the things I did was I created a platform for people to express, to deliberate on issues, argue on issues, and to our surprise, we found out that most people that participated came from the junior level, meaning from year one. Meaning, if we can organize platforms that has to do with education, that has to do with debates, then we can organize other platforms that can breed potentials as well. We can organize educational platforms. For example, we can do one with like a fashionista show. We can organize that. Some students, if you ask them to debate or argue on issues, They won't. But if you give them the platform to showcase what they have in terms of fashion, do one ways, they can. That's their own gift. That's their own passion. That's what they are good at. That's their own potential. So these are some of the potential. You have some people. If you ask them to talk on educational stuff, they can, but if you give them a platform to hold the mic and then entertain you, they can do that. And we have a lot of students that are mass communication students that basically can entertain very, very well. All they need is the support and the platform. So these are some of the platforms that we need to create. We don't just need to look at the educational aspects, but rather see how best we join education and entertainment. Wherein we'll have education and entertainment, edutainment. At the same time again, we go with infotainment. So these are some of the things that mass communication students do. You have infotainment and edutainment. We blend these two together. Meaning, if Princess can debate and Lil Prince from year 1 can rap, these two people, you put them together. Meaning, you have edutainment. It goes side by side. So these are some of the platforms we need to create in our department.
So how are you seeing the election tension?
Elections are not small. In any election, there is no election that is small. Yeah. We've read our manifestos and we've campaigned, to people, to our colleagues, students, and I hope, based on my campaigns and based on what I said, though I wasn't aware of the time and all to deliberate more, but I hope with what I've been campaigning before, the ideologies I've been selling out, people will see the need for me to step in and continue from where we already stopped.
Okay. So what's your faith?
I'm very confident. I will win the elections, not even by a narrow margin, but by a big margin.
Wow, that's some confidence.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so give us just short word for the mass communication people. Okay.
A short word for the mass communication people is that tomorrow is elections day, and if it's election day, the words of Barack Obama reads, there is no vote that is not vital or that is not important. Meaning, for each and every mass communication student, your vote is important, because at the end of the day, the person that will be heading the association either affects you directly or indirectly. Either you give your time, your resource or whatever to the association, or even if you make I quote, I don't care, but at the end of the day, he will be your leader. He is your leader. He will lead you for the rest of the year. And you have to have a leader who can advocate for you. You have to have a leader who can step in when you have problems. You have to have a leader who can come in and assist you with educational stuff. You have to have a leader who can sell your department out. You have to have a leader who can bring the department to the limelight within and off campus. He's a leader that you need. So you have to vote, not because you know the person, but vote because you believe in his ideas, you believe in his potentials, and you believe in what you see he can do and what he will continue to do if given the opportunity to lead.
Thank you very much. Wish you good luck.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, welcome to Global Multimedia. I'm Gloria Mara, and today we just had the reading of the manifesto of various aspirants for the AMCO. So here is one of them. Introduce yourself, please.
I'm Thomas Sherif, an aspirant for the position of Vice President.
Okay. Mr. Thomas, what opted you to go for that position?
First of all, before I may proceed, I may want to say this clear. My main reason for me to opt for such position is that I need a transformation. As my motto is, better transformation is all I can give to AMCO.
Okay, so what are your faith? What's your faith? How do you see the election tension?
The election tension, there is no election that we think or underrate any aspirant. But I'm well assured and I'm hoping to be the winner of this forthcoming election.
Okay, so what changes do you intend on bringing as the Vice President?
And as I read the manifesto in the auditorium, I hope to bring a lot of changes. the changes that all communicators have been anticipating for, like for instance, the changes in the social life of the department, the changes in the well-equipped lab, the changes in the lecturing process and the practical process. These are a few of the changes that I will look into. Although I have a lot of changes, but for the meantime, I just have to give you this few.
Okay, so what do you have for the voters?
And for the voters, this is not about sentiment, or this is not about familiarity. Don't vote because of familiarity. Vote because of capability. I know I'm well capable to rule AMCO and be the vice president. In order, with a well-sounded, sober-minded people, we can do AMCO and make AMCO great again.
Okay, thank you very much and wish you good luck.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to bring you one of the presidential aspirants, one of the most enthusiastic lady, and she will introduce herself.
Hello, I am Trifina Elizabeth Coker, a qualifying year student of the Mass Communication Department and one of the aspirants for the presidency of the Association of Mass Communication.
Madam Trifina, first of all, personally, I want to know if you were part of the outgoing executive.
Yeah, I was the chief whip for the past executive.
Okay. So, being a chief whip by then, what gave you the motivation to aspire for the position of being a president of this great association?
Okay, the aspiration for the presidency of AMCO was led by my service that I want to render to my beloved association. In as much as I was the chief whip for the last executive, and we tried a lot to make sure most of the issues that we are arising in our association we are solved, and like I see myself as that is not enough, but I can do more than that.
Okay.
And I see it as if I become the president for AMCO, I can do more than I was doing when I was in the past executive. So my love for service and my love for my department made me to aspire as a president of Mass Communication.
That's wonderful. Did you feel threatened in any way? You know, you being she's actually the only female contender for the position of being a president of the Association of Mass Communicators. So do you feel threat in any way?
At first, when I started declaring that I am going in for the presidency, I was a little bit frightened because I am the only female candidate available for that position, and I was like, oh, I am standing against two men. And we know in our society that people do tolerate men going in for position and leaving women behind. But as it was going, I see it as it's a bold step for other women in our department to go in for the same position, and I see it as I'm taking this bold step for others. So it's like I'm starting it now for our generation that is coming behind, the next generation that is coming, and they will continue the process. So as of now, I am so confident that I am the only female candidate for the presidency, and I am so sure that my colleague will vote for me, and then I will see to work towards.
So basically, what are your expectations? What are you expecting from students, from the outgoing executive which you are part of? What are the expectations? What are some of the things you're expecting in the area of casting your ballot, in the area of making decisions, in the area of having a credible election? What are you expecting?
Okay, I am expecting my colleague to vote me in, but in as much as that, I am also expecting them to work for us to work collaboratively to move forward the association, because this is not a one-man thing. We need to bring different ideas on board. Like some will not vow in for the positions, but they have great ideas that can move the association forward. So in as much as I'm going in, I'm expecting them to vote me in, and I'm expecting them to support me when I win the election, so that we can push.
Sometimes people say expectations bring disappointment. So what if, assumably, what if you are not fortunate to win the position of being the president? What will be your inputs to the executive, to make sure that AMCO go to the height that you want it, or you are expecting it to be?
I like that question.
Okay.
You see, me going in as a president, I don't only want the name as a president, but I want to serve. So even if I don't win this election, I am still going to help in my own way to make sure the department move forward.
That's
because
wonderful.
I love my department and I love my fellow colleagues. So in whatsoever way that I will be able to support the executive that will be winning the election, I am going to give my support. That is for sure.
That's wonderful. So now, I want you to look into the camera, just give a short message. Tell them what you want them to do for Madam Trifina.
Once more, I am Trifina Elizabeth Coker, an aspirant for the Association of Mass Communications election, and I am telling all of you, my colleagues, to vote me in for better representation, for the betterment of AMCU. I want you to vote me in so that we can all work collaboratively to move the association forward.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. I am Idrissa Jerry, and this is the Global Multimedia. And today we have already witnessed the manifestation for all aspirants at the Mass Communication Department. And we have caught up with the aspirants, we've interviewed them, and now we are with the students for them to express their view as to what they make, if all we felt, what were they expecting from the manifestation, if they was actually met to their expectation. I'm with one of the prolific students, is a pundit and also an analyst. Let me engage him. Your name, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. Greetings to all. I remain my humble self, my guy John Sebe Conte. Other people call me Zuku, which means wisdom from God. Ooh. I'm a Nigerian by name, but a Sierra Leonean by nationality.
Awesome. And you've heard from all the presidential aspirants and of course the only unopposed Secretary General. What were you expecting, ranging for some of the things that we are expecting from the department?
All right. In the very first place, I'll be hypocrite if I fail to thank them all for giving their manifestos. But however, I am not impressed that we have a Secretary General unopposed, because the Mass Communication Department...
Okay, you are not impressed having a Secretary General unopposed?
Definitely.
So what does that signal to the department?
Well, I think it's a slap on our face, all as communicators. Okay. Because as a communicator, we need to communicate effectively. But thousands of students, I am sure they are capable, but I don't see many show up, only one. So I think it's a slap on our face.
So shifting a bit from the Secretary General, there are a lot of presidential candidates and also two vice presidents, the vice that are aspiring for that position. What do you make up of what they said in today's manifestation?
All right, well, some did theirs, of course, they spoke what I was expecting, but others, there are a lot of flaws. In other words,
what are these flaws that you are talking about?
It has to do with the constitutional amendment, so to speak. Okay. And if you're looking at the constitution, you deem it, or you learn to understand that the constitution does not favor mass communicators. Okay. So in that regard, I think is biased, so to speak, is biased. So I think we need to reaffirm, and I am sure if we are together, we amend that constitution, it will be fine.
Okay. Because and now one could say we have few minutes to the election, and we have limited time for the amendment of the constitution. So what are you expecting prior the election?
I am expecting greatness, and one thing that I want communicators to reckon with, a leader is a person that has the ability to influence, to persuade others, and it's our time for us to give a person that will represent us well. We need better representation.
That's it. That's what I was waiting for. You said it's a better representation, not presentation.
Not sentiment.
So finally, what will be your message?
Well, my message to all communicators: let us don't vote by sentiment, let us vote wisely. And it's that time for us to create the avenue for inclusive government. Inclusive government sometimes does not necessarily mean male and female, but the competent ones.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me just hold it from that point. He said inclusivity. That's what we're waiting for. Is Manga. Is
Magai.
Thank you very much. We're still rolling on the gauging the views of students at the department after the manifestation, and I've also caught up with a female from the same department, and she is as beautiful as we're expecting her point to be. Welcome to Global Multimedia. Your name and who are you?
Welcome. My name is Esther Bialfona from the Mass Communication Department, Year 1.
As in the year one stage, you're just coming up in the department, and what you have seen, were you impressed?
Well, I was impressed by some and not all, but to a large extent, I was impressed, really impressed.
So what are some of these things that moved this of your emotion?
Well, for some candidates, they made mention of the association, and I see they have the association at heart, and some of the things they mention, that is the communication between the HOD and the students, the relationship, and I see the extra classes, and I noticed that some of them really want to see this association grow, especially for the environmental inclusion. When one of the aspirants made mention of the mass communication reaching out to people and community, reaching to their cries, seeing their stress, and put these of their problems into consideration.
So, as a year one student, what will be your involvement to the present or the outgoing or either the incoming executive? What will be your impression, your involvement?
Well, due to the constitution, I think for us year one, we are not involved, absolutely. The only thing that matters is our vote.
Okay. So finally, what will be your message to those that will not be fortunate to win the election? Because it's obvious that we're going to expect winner, we are going to expect losers. So what will be your message to those that will not win?
Well, for those who are not going to win, well, due to the manifesto, they have great plans, all of them. So I just prayed and hope they all work together with the current executive, who will be stepping in and make their points right with them, and they work together as one. If they have the power and ability to do this, which they include in their manifesto individually, then there's no problem. But if they have a problem with that, let them just work with the executive and see that AMCO progress.
Thank you very much for having you.
Thank you.
We still continue with the good, the bad, and the ugly. We've seen the good, we've seen the bad, and we have also seen at some point the ugly part of it all. And in my midst, I'm with a fine gentleman at the Department of Mass Communication Department. We're here to gauge him with the views as to what he has seen over there, what is making up of that. So welcome to Global Multimedia.
Thank you, Mr. Jerry. First of all, I am Idrissa from the Mass Communication Department. And what I want to say towards the
firstly, before going further, there was a student stating out for those that will not happen to win the mass communication, the various positions they aspired for. So what will be your own message to the one that will happens to win either the vice president, the president, or the secretary general as per unopposed?
First of all, what I wanted to say is that all the aspirants are intelligent and they all have ideas. So if you don't happen to win the election, you need to integrate with others, galvanize ideas, and work together. What I'm trying to say is that unity counts. What I want to see in mass communication is unity, oneness.
Okay, so unity counts, solidarity counts. Okay, these are the words of few. So specifically, what are these things that you think that are here at the mass communication department that you need transformation on? Are there anything?
Yeah.
Things like
togetherness. They are not working together. Some people like the past executive and other people are not working together. The misunderstanding is plenty. Okay. There are many misunderstandings, and that is not what we want to see in mass communication. What we want to see is unity, oneness, solidarity, and togetherness.
So as for you, what you have sensed out in the past executive is that the unity between the executive and the ordinary student have not been cordial. So what will be your message to the incoming government in relation to solve this problem?
As I have just said, I want to reciprocate again that unity counts, it counts a lot. Let them work together, work as one forever in the mass communication department.
Okay, thank you very much. It's still rolling with the students here for us to gauge their views as to what they make up after the manifestation of the aspirants. And I've also caught up with one vibrant student, presumably is one of the most energetic students I've seen at the mass communication department. Please introduce yourself and welcome to Global Multimedia.
Thank you, Global Multimedia, for hosting me. I greet you in the name of Student Unionism. My name is Prince Dax Fandi, student of Mass Communication Department, second year.
Mr. Fandi, a lot of the cry that other students have been raising is around Constitution, specifically from the year one student.
Yeah.
As a year two student, as you rightly mentioned, what do you think about the Constitution?
I think the Constitution is a sideline Constitution. The reason for me saying this, I look at one of the aspects in the Constitution that talks about the registration of members. Okay, you being members part of the Association of Mass Communicators. Now, there is a clause there. If you want to be a member of the Association of Mass Communication, you need to register. I see that as a clause to us, because as long as you are admitted,
you see that clause as a deterrent to the mass communicator. So what will be your advocacy as a student?
My advocacy there is, as long as you are being admitted to the University of Makeni and Mass Com department, to be specific, you are already being a member of the communicators. So there should not be no clause tied up there to be registered.
So you are expecting the incoming government to see how best they can amend that particular clause. So okay, having taken the Constitution off this matter, what do you make in sum total after the manifestation?
After the manifestation, I see my darling department today, Masscom, want to become the day of political brouhaha. Now we're seeing all Jack and James coming together. Put up for.
Wait. Can I just ask you this question? Are you presumably in any way saying at the Department of Mass Communication we have the Jack and the Jean that you described?
When I'm in Jack and James, they are Jack and James for divine for power. They are not Jack and James in.
Are you saying we're having some people that are competent to vie for some position?
Per se, not that they are not competent.
Is that what you're saying?
No, not that they are not competent, but this is not the time for them to come up.
Oh, you are saying they need to learn more. Okay, they need to learn more. So you are indirectly telling that some aspirants they need to step down now before the election. So finally, we have a few minutes to the election. So what will be your message to those aspirants and those that you think that are competent?
My message to the aspirants at the Department of Mass Communicators is not about aspiring for this position. Now you aspire for the position, you read out your manifestation, we grab it, we take it. But please, when you lose, make sure you stay connected to the executive. We need cohesion. Don't lose and go away and sit down and look the executive going with their functioning without helping. That's a message to the aspirants. And to us with the students, or to us with the fellow students of the same department, my message to you that is vote for people who have the department at heart. Now people who have the department at heart already have set a plan. Look at where they come from and you will be able to see where they want to go.
Okay, thank you very much. And it's funny, he has mentioned it outrightly clear. Cohesion and tranquility is what he thinks he needs. So we're kindly watching for that one. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're still engaging students in relation to the manifesto after the aspirants have already read their aspiration if only voted in. And I've already done my heart and I've set my eyes on a fine gentleman. And to others, I believe, is one of the pundits that are stand outrightly clearly to stand for the self. Welcome to Global Multimedia.
I'm Jeremiah Ebla. Yeah, one student mass communication. I thank Global Multimedia for hosting me.
You sounding in your name brings some amount of joy. Reason being, you're Jeremiah and I'm Jerry, and that's synonymous. But again, on a burning issue, it's very alarming that we have an issue after the manifesto reading. What do you make up of the entire process?
Well, like for the manifesto reading, like I'm very happy because going through a very unique and admirable manifesto given to our leaders or upcoming leaders is sound interesting, because looking at the manifesto or looking at that moment, there was no form of riot, so there was no form of any blasphemy towards other.
Okay, so what are your expectations after or prior or even few hours to the election?
Well, my expectations for now can't be told, because like almost I admire all the speakers that went in for the manifesto.
No, precisely what I'm saying. Were you expecting something prior the presentation or after the presentation? There are things that you were expecting from the presidential candidate, but probably they have said it or they didn't say it. Are there any things? Did it met your expectation?
Yeah, like one of my expectation, although one of the aspirants for the vice president had wanted to say such under the area of student unionism, and that's what I'm expecting right now as mass communicators. Most of us are not united, and the ununited scene now came through this electioneering process, because now since the starting of this election, each and every candidate has supported, but like this thing has totally put mass comm department students into a diffuse manner that I think it is not a good way, and precisely I want us all to be together in an united form.
Are you saying we are in a form of chaotic, or we are disorder? Are you trying to say that?
Yeah, like that, okay, we are disorder.
What is the solution? What do you think is the solution?
Well, yeah, so like what I was trying to say is, election should not put us apart as mass communicators. One thing that we as mass communicators need to be aware of is that we should know that we are mass communicators. We are not here to differentiate ourselves as if because you are in year 1 or year 2 or so on, we are all the same, because we are all pursuing to be at the same point in the future.
So finally, what would be your message to the entire student body of the mass communication department?
Well, my entire message would be like this: each and every student should at least be competitive in the electioneering process tomorrow, should make sure that the election for tomorrow goes smooth and safe. Like in the area of riot, we don't want any form of that, you know. Like we need to at least specialize ourselves to be as unique as mass communicators used to be.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We still continue with the interview process after the manifesto reading from our aspirants contesting for various positions, the 3 top positions, the president, the vice president, and the secretary general of our noble department. And with me, I'm with a student from the same department. Please introduce yourself and welcome to Global Multimedia.
Thank you very much. I am Ture Alpha, a student at the mass communication department year 1, and thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much. And for me, I think we're expecting a lot of things. Other students were expecting other things, and other students are expecting other things. As for you, what are you expecting?
Well, I'm expecting peace. Peace. And peace is one of the most significant things that we are looking for.
Okay, talking around peace, at Fabi College, Jala, IPAM and all, we have been sensing out riots when elections have been conducted. So, what are you expecting tomorrow? Are you sensing any means of riot? Because we have several candidates. Are you sensing it?
I am not sensing any form of riots. I am just giving peace as a word of advice to those who are intending to do that. And the reason being, peace counts a lot in wherever we find ourselves. You understand? And as long as there's an election, we must have to preach peace. You understand? Because you have to have people who are to emerge as losers, and others who are going to emerge as winners. Maybe those who have lost the election, they might not let go and accept the position.
So what will be your message to them?
And my message here is, let them accept whatever outcome might be the decision to them.
So finally, before ending this interview, we're having problem with the constitutions, and as you rightly mentioned, you said you're in year 1, and according to some analysts, they said the year 1 are not being included, and for them it is not participatory and it's not inclusive. Where did that
it needs to be expunged out of the constitution. The reason being, let there be a clear platform for every individual who has received an acceptance letter to the mass communication department, in order for them to be legal member and to be a member in the AMCO executive.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
And